I think the best way to understand the global lighting rig or module, and I call it GI lights, okay, is to start with basically a black scene. I've got the sky turned off, I've got lighting turned off, the sun, the moon, all of it. And let's go into our global lighting. I've got all these turned down. I do have it on, okay. I have the switch here, and the switch is also here. Turn it off and on. So let's go down to the bottom. There's the bottom light controls, middle light controls, and top light controls. I put this little object in here so you can kind of see the influence of these lights. So all I have now is the bottom light. So let's take a look at that. So this light is falling on the buildings, okay? But it's really illuminating this, and that's because the light's coming from below. There's slight angles to it, but it's not really illuminating the city much, all right? And there's an option for shadow. Turn that on, and see the light's still coming through, but it's a lot darker on the city. So let's turn that up and see what happens. Okay, not a whole lot of difference. So let's go ahead and turn that off, and I'm going to turn the shadow off. And let's go to our center lights, I should say. And we'll just put that at 10. And these are the middle lights. Lighting's going to be much more overall because they're around the whole center of the scene in various places. So it's pretty even lighting. It's great fill lighting. So let's turn that off. And we're going to turn the top lights on. Turn them on to about 10% also. And now you see just that, okay? We've got a lot of top light on this object. And if you come down and look at these roofs of these lower buildings, a lot of top light there. There's an angle at the top of this building, a little lip there. And so this top light is illuminating from the top, all right? So let's take our middle lights and let's bring them up to about 15. And let's take our I'll just leave it at 10 for now. And let's take another look. So now we've got some pretty flat lighting, which is exactly what I want. We see a little bit of influence of the top light. Okay, I mean, we could crank that up and really see it. But you notice how it's gotten brighter on this, but not a whole lot on the buildings, except on some of these rooftops are pretty bright. So I'm going to add in a little bit of this bottom. I don't use the bottom light a lot, but if you like added a big object into your scene, you may want to have that light on. And so now you can kind of see we've really got some nice overall lighting going on with our city, which actually looks a little flat, but also with this, okay? So what we want to do is leave that there. Now I want to bring up the actual sun brightness. And we're getting some nice lighting on our buildings. But I feel like the top lighting is too strong. So I'm going to bring that down to about 9. And I'm going to go in and turn the sky on. And let's take a look. Now you can see we've got some really nice lighting. We even have a shadow, I didn't notice this before, from this thing on this building, which is kind of cool if you had like some big, I don't know, ship or something going by. Anyway, so this gives you some idea of how to work with these global lights. But let's say you did put this big object in here, but you didn't want it to be influenced by the global lights. Well, if you dial this open And see it says exclude from the GI lights, and just drag. This has got the both objects in it, and I'm going to drag that down into that box. Re-render. Okay, and really that's about it for the GI controls. See you in the next tutorial.